I come originally from Seattle. I come from a long line of folks who served in the Navy. All the men in my family served in the Navy. So if I was going to join the military, the one option really was Navy. I really wanted to see the world. I wanted to be on ships like the men in my family. Ironically, I chose one of the only MOSs in the military that doesn't go on ships, that actually usually stays in fun places like Maryland and Georgia. So that would have been my military career. I ended up training in Monterey, California. Boot camp was really fun for me. I had learned a lot when I was in Great Lakes, Illinois. I really was never a runner, and I got in great shape and just loved being in the Navy. Ironing, polishing boots, you name it, I was gung-ho and ready to go. So when I got to Monterey, I began my language training. I was studying Arabic for the Navy. And that's when my military service really took a turn. A few months after I arrived on base, I was raped in my barracks room. And the rest of my career was really spent dealing with my trauma and fighting what had happened to me. At that time, there wasn't the resources that there are now. And so I really had to navigate a system that wasn't even really a system. And so from that point on, I've really devoted my life to advocating for other sexual assault survivors, both men and women, and using my experiences to help others. My career did end early because of my assault. However, because that happened, I've been able to serve my country in a different way. I've been working with active duty military and veterans my whole life since, and I can't imagine serving a different population. I'm really passionate about working with veterans. Honestly, just the can-do attitude of our military and veterans, the resilience, is amazing. My clients I work with now, some of them are missing limbs, have serious brain injuries, and they don't sit and feel sorry for themselves. They focus on what they can do, how they can help their peers, how they can just have a rich and full life. And that so inspires me and makes me passionate all the time. A lot of my friends are veterans, and the relationships I have with these folks, a lot of them Army. I have no idea why most of my friends are Army, but hey, I'll forgive them for that. No, my friends are my passion. Seeing the other work that my fellow veteran advocates are doing, whether it's in employment, in education, with the government, whatever, is really, really fun. Most recently, when I started working for the Farmer Veteran Coalition, where I work now, we work with veterans starting careers in food and farming. I am surrounded all the time by food now. Food that's grown fresh on farms by veterans all over the country. So a big one of my passions now is food, whether it's tomatoes, turnips, bacon, you name it, and these are all the fruits of the labors of our country's veterans. I've learned two main things, I think, over the last 12 years. One, you're stronger than you think you are. That's something they say when you're running in boot camp and you look at them like, yeah, right, I am tired, my legs are falling off. But they say that, you're stronger than you think you are. And I found a strength at 19 that has changed my life. At a very young age, because of my experiences, I learned my emotional limits, my mental limits, my physical limits, and kind of being really scourged in the fire, if you want to be poetic about it, really helped me find my strength. It helped me find my voice. If you would have told me that at 19 I would be standing up to officers, to the JAG Corps, to my rapist himself, I didn't know I even possessed a voice like that. And in the years since, I've had to find the strength to keep advocating. I always said that I would keep being an advocate, telling my story until there was a new generation of young women who could take this on. And I got to tell you, in the last couple of years, they're here now. And so I'm able to rest and, get behind the camera and not in front of it, which is a much needed rest for me. that's the second thing I've learned. The first is I'm stronger than I think I am. But the second is part of strength is knowing when to stop, to knowing yourself, to listen. I think that I've learned how to listen to who I am and know when to take a break, when to move on, to ask myself those questions of what place, where is this work, where is this advocacy, where is this coming from? Is it coming from a tired place? Is it coming from an angry place? For me and for my mental health and personal health, I really needed to step away from sexual assault work. However, like I said, I love working with vets, and I was able to find a home at the Farmer Veteran Coalition where I can continue my passion of working with military and veterans, but in a much less triggering subject matter. And so those are the two main things I've learned. One, I'm stronger than I think I am, but two, to listen to myself and to know when to step back and let others step forward. I think my life is extremely bittersweet in that I definitely had probably some of the worst things that ever happened to me in my life were here in Northern California. The funny thing is I was raped in my barracks room, which was really awful, and I had to stay in my barracks room for months after that. But the view from my barracks room was the harbor, and I probably had the best view in all of Monterey. And I got to watch the sunset and the sunrise every day from my barracks room. And so in a way, I had some really bad experiences, but I fell in love with Northern California and the West Coast and the way the sun is around here. I really couldn't get enough. So after I got out of the military, I went back to Seattle for a while, but my heart was really here. So I came back in '06, got my degree, and started social work. So I've been working with homeless, incarcerated folks and veterans ever since. And I really can't imagine doing anything else, and I can't imagine living anywhere else. When some of my vets, they'll call me and they don't need anything, or they don't need to check on their file or their grant. They just want to call and wish me a good day or let me know that they were thinking about me. And things like that mean so much to me. I think what also inspires me, when I was, to tell a little story, when I was in the military, I'm 5'3", I'm a little short, I'm not a runner, and I became friends with a couple guys in my units, and they were runners. They were tall, skinny guys, and they saw me trying, but they saw that I also needed help, and so they started running alongside of me for months, for a couple months in boot camp, and they got me to drop almost 4 minutes off my run time, and they supported me. That camaraderie really still surrounds me in my civilian life. That really inspires me, helping others, but others helping me, and being able to lean on people, being able to trust people. Trust has been something hard for me just from my experience early on in life and with my assault. And so when I can have people in my life that I can trust and a support system, I mean, that's so inspiring and it's encouraging. And I think also I grew up on the coast, and living in farm country like I do now is a very foreign environment for me. But I'm surrounded by living things all the time, by plants growing, and it sounds cliche, but by baby animals. And I see why it's healing for the veterans I work with when they get back from war and they come to the farms. It really is healing, and it's inspiring to be in that environment. Some may argue with this, but if you're a female joining the military, I'll say do it, go for it. You can see the world. There's so many jobs open even since I served that are so thrilling and exciting. I mean, you can fly a helicopter, whatever, and so do it. But take care of yourself, you know. If you're going to be a woman in the military, you need to run faster, be smarter, be able to take care of yourself. You can't let your guard down. And I want women who join the military to be tough as nails and to look out for their sisters and to, the Army says be all you can be, but you really got, if you're going to do it, rock it. Don't you got to want it more than anything. And I think also I'd tell all men and women joining the military, you're stronger than you think you are, and service takes many, many forms. And also, you never know what direction life's going to take you. I thought I was going to have a lifelong military career. I thought I was going to be a lifer like my grandpa. But my life took a different turn, and I think you need to be open to life's changes and to, you never know where the road's going to lead. I would tell them that they are going to be okay. But I would also tell them that healing is a long road and that you're not going to see the progress of your healing or any changes until you're looking back. So you're not going to notice it on a day-to-day basis. You're going to have awful things like nightmares, and if you have PTSD like me, you'll have to get used to, being hypervigilant, which is not just you getting used to it, it's your loved ones getting used to it and other things like that. It's going to be kind of scary, but you know what they say about post-traumatic stress disorder is that it's a normal reaction to an abnormal circumstances. So you're not going crazy, you're just being traumatized. And when you have time to reflect, a year, 2 years, 10 years later, you'll be able to see that you have been able to get past it, to heal. But if you put pressure on yourself to just suck it up, be okay, that happened, it's done, or why am I not recovering faster? Just don't do that to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You're going to be okay, but it's going to take time. And there's life after assault. I'm living proof. I mean, I was so broken at a time in my life, and it's been a long road, but I am so happy to be alive. I've experienced good relationships, and I've traveled the world, and I wouldn't trade being alive with the memories of a sexual assault survivor with the alternative.